Ryan Reynolds might be one of the hardest working actors in Hollywood. One look at his filmography proves that out. 60 movie roles and 15 TV roles, excluding things like SNL, since he started acting professionally in 1991. But it's also true that Reynolds was something of a late bloomer. In fact, he didn't find worldwide commercial and critical success until 2016's Deadpool at almost 40. Reynolds did not have an easy time trying to make it big. In fact, from 1991 until 2004, when he landed a role in Blade Trinity, it was something akin to paying his dues. He had landed multiple episodes in a couple of TV shows like Hillside from 1991 until 1993 and The Odyssey from 1993 until 1994, some TV movies like 1995's Serving in Silence and 1996's Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and some theatrical releases like 1999's Coming Soon, 2001's Finder's Fee, and 2002's Van Wilder, his first taste of commercial success. But most of his roles at the time flew under the radar, didn't attract much attention, or didn't have him in a large role. It's not too far to say, in fact, that Blade Trinity, where he plays Hannibal King, was something of his breakout success. No, the film didn't exactly light the world on fire. After all, it's the worst reviewed and lowest grossing film in the trilogy, but it represented something of a range shift for Reynolds. Prior to Blade Trinity, he mostly appeared in comedies. The shift to a more action-heavy role probably prompted him to take on, or perhaps prompted others to consider him for, different types of roles other than what he was used to. He followed it with 2005's The Amityville Horror, which was a critical flop but a commercial success, doing more than 5 times its original budget. 14 years after his first role, Ryan Reynolds had a bona fide $100 million hit on his hands. The Amityville Horror was something of a harbinger for what his next few movies looked like. 2005's Waiting and Just Friends and 2006's Smokin' Aces all performed poorly with critics, but all turned a neat profit at the box office. 2007's The Nines was the inverse. It did well with critics, but made just $130,000 at the box office. You win some, you lose some. A lot of people say that Reynolds found much of his success with rom-coms, but I'm going to disagree with them. To be sure, he found a decent amount of success with them up until doing Deadpool, but Reynolds was in a wide range of movies until then. Yes, there were some rom-com successes, such as Definitely Maybe in 2008, The Proposal in 2009, and The Change-Up in 2011. Of those, The Proposal is his only out-and-out rom-com success, grossing $317 million on a budget of $40 million. But it's his superhero roles that, for better or worse, helped put him on the map. First, he played Wade Wilson and some facsimile of Deadpool in 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine, a commercial success. Then he played Hal Jordan in 2011's Green Lantern, which was neither a critical or commercial success, though I'm going to go out on a limb and say I enjoyed it. Still, if we go by the age-old adage that all attention is good attention, then for better or worse he got plenty of attention. But not all of his movies were poorly received, even though that's how it seems. 2010's Buried is a phenomenal film that takes place in a single location. He plays Paul Conroy, who gets buried alive in a coffin. The film was a critical and commercial success and one of Reynolds' best performances. 2012's Safe House, where he stars alongside Denzel Washington, was another commercial success, while animated movies like 2013's The Croods and Turbo were enjoyed by critics and audiences alike. 2014's The Voices was a well-reviewed comedy horror, 2015's Mississippi Grind an exceedingly well-reviewed comedy drama, and 2015's Woman in Gold, a biographical drama about the saga of ownership surrounding Gustav Klimt's portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer I. But, of course, it was 2016's Deadpool that saw Reynolds finally win massive critical and commercial acclaim in one R-rated package. The movie had been in development hell since 2000 and took a lot of work to get made at all, with Reynolds personally working on it since X-Men Origins in 2009. Made on a budget of $58 million, it made a staggering $782 million at the box office and found universal acclaim. It's one of the best movies of the 2010s, if only for showing the paradigm shift that R-rated superhero movies were critically and commercially viable. Without Deadpool, we might not have had Logan or Joker. 2018's Deadpool 2 was just as successful, clocking $786 million against a $110 million budget and found similar universal acclaim. He continued the success with movies like 2017's Life and The Hitman's Bodyguard, 2019's Detective Pikachu, and 2021's Free Guy, as well as a host of Netflix originals. In 2022, he began starring in Welcome to Wrexham, a show that documents Reynolds and co-star Rob McElhenney's attempts to revitalize Wrexham AFC, a football club that dates back to 1864 and which the pair acquired in February of 2021. The show has been a critical success. Reynolds is the busiest man in Hollywood right now. He made a fortune selling Mint Mobile to T-Mobile and aviation gin to Diageo. That doesn't mean he's cutting back on acting, though. He's got 10 roles lined up over the next few years. It doesn't look like he's going to stop anytime soon, and I think that's a treat for the rest of us.